this. Y'all have a great show.
Okay.
Why don't you come and see what everyone seems to be talking about?
Happy anniversary. That's right. That is right. Happy anniversary, Take Two listeners and family. This is the day, the exact day when we started 1 year ago with Take Two with you. I'm Debbie Georgiani along with Jerry Usher. And we wanted just to wish you a happy anniversary. We're going to be celebrating our anniversary show tomorrow, but today we are revisiting the popular shows that you have called forth and said, yep, these are the ones that I really loved, and these are the ones that I want you to revisit. And so today we're going to be talking about a show today and also celebrating our actual anniversary day for Take Two. And we're filled with gratitude so much to you because you drive this show. You own this show. You make it what it is. And you've made it such a beautiful experience for the past year. We hope it goes on for many, many more years and continues to bless all of us. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Jerry, I know you're filled with the same sense of gratitude because we talked before the show started.
Yeah, for sure. Our hats are off to you, Take Two listeners. Thank you so much for getting us through this first year. We think that it has been a very fruitful year in many ways. Hope that it's been a blessing in your life, and we're looking forward to continuing the program, as always, with your takes. As Debbie said, tomorrow we're going to be taking a look back, a little look at where the show is, what you'd like to see, get to maybe some topic suggestions from you, how it's impacted your life. But what we did, we started this week by looking at 3 of the shows during our first year that got really the best response in terms of calls to the show and what people wanted to talk about. And so today we have actually a topical program for you. And Debbie, this is one that really got a lot of interest, a lot of response when we first did it.
We're talking about raising someone else's child. And that is if you've adopted a child, if you're maybe raising a grandchild or you have a foster child in your home. And we're talking about that and what that means to you, the blessings that have been brought forth because of that child entering into the home, whatever the circumstances may have been that surrounded how that child ended up in your home. But now we want to talk about what that means, what has transpired from having that beautiful experience. I know, Jerry, sometimes that when I watch programs on TV where they show other places around the world where people seem like there's orphans and there's people that have been displaced. I've often said this prayer quietly to our Lord. I said, Lord, please let one of those children end up on my doorstep. I would absolutely love it. And I can imagine that has really happened to you, dear listeners. And we want to hear from you today. If you're raising someone else's child, tell us what it feels like. Tell us what has happened to you, how it's increased your faith walk, your spiritual life. Number to dial is 1-800-585-9396.
This is really an important topic. I think it was so well received the first time, Debbie, we did it because everybody knows that children are special. Jesus makes a very strong point of that in the Bible. He talks about becoming like little children. Let the little children come to me. And one of the greatest tragedies in our time is that so many people in our country and around the world, so many kids don't have a warm, loving home, excuse me, where they just some sense of normalcy. I've known parents who have adopted kids who for years had been bounced from one foster home to another, and thank God there are foster homes, but really we want to talk today about giving a loving home to children. And it could be that you've got a son or a daughter, and they conceived a child, and the child was born, and maybe due to whatever circumstances, it was deemed best that they weren't in a position to raise the child. So maybe you've got a grandchild in your home that's kind of like a son or a daughter, or maybe you're like Dr. Ray Garendi. He and his wife have adopted 10 times, and they're mixed races, and they've adopted kids who have had, what do you call it, Debbie, the difficult, like drug babies and kids that a lot of other people would not adopt. There's foster parenting. So call with your experience today, and you could really not only teach our other listeners something, but you could inspire somebody who perhaps can't conceive or is wondering if God would have them maybe adopt a child. That could be just what they need to hear. So the number is 1-800-585-9396.
Please call in and share with us. We want to revisit this topic. It was one of the most popular topics that we have here on Take Two for the past year, and it's important for us to revisit it because it allows us to explore it from a different angle, a different view. That's what Take Two is all about, a fresh look, a new look, a look again. And that's what makes this program very unique. So the number to dial to participate is 1-800-585-9396. One other thing I just wanted to share, and I'm going to just say profusely, I am so very sorry, very, very sorry. So many of you went to the Take Two website and tried to look for the spiritual exercise that we talked about called the last day of my life, this exercise that you could use in religious education classes or in your homes or with friends. And I know you went there because we saw hundreds and hundreds of hits to the site to try and get the exercise. The exercise, when it was first written, I actually wrote it, is over 4 pages long. And it's really too much to put into just an easy usable exercise. So we were able to scale it down to 1 page. And I will tell you this, Jerry, you can hold me to this. I promise you, dear listeners, if you just give me 5 minutes after today's show, it will be uploaded to take2show.com. You can go there, you can download it, you can use it. And please let us know what the feedback is from the participants that take part in it. It's usually overwhelmingly positive, and it really does help get us to really view life as precious and to live in the moment. So that spiritual exercise will be up 5 to 10 minutes after today's show on take2show.com.
All right, our number today, as always, 1-800-585-9396. It was 1 year ago today that Take Two with Jerry and Debbie hit the airwaves. And so here we are a year later, and starting Monday for these first 3 days of this week, we're revisiting 3 of the shows that you seem to really resonate with during our first year. And today, it's Are You Raising Someone Else's Child, either through foster parenting, perhaps you've adopted, or maybe you've got a grandchild in your home, or something else that we have not even thought about or haven't mentioned yet here. 1-800-585-9396 is the number. And we're going to have the actual anniversary show tomorrow. But if you're not going to be able to listen tomorrow and you want to call in right now and just say, hey, here, I think this would make a great topic, or that would make a great topic for year number 2, we'd love to hear from you on that as well. But we're going to have Rich roll our first break. And by the way, it's a show team. It's not just me and Debbie. It is Rich Jesse, Matt Gabensky, Jeff Burson, Michael McCall, Mike Peters, Tom Price, Elena Rodriguez. Probably missing somebody here, but it takes a whole bunch of people to put this show on the air every day, and so we just acknowledge each and every one of them because it has been a total team effort for this first year. 800-585-9396. We're going to your calls next.
The EWTN home video highlight for June is Living the Scriptures with Mother Angelica. These vintage Mother Angelica episodes will profit your soul and cheer your spirit. Each episode demonstrates Mother's insights, wisdom, and humor, which beautifully penetrate her reflections on the Old and New Testaments. Order your DVD set at EWTNRC.com, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or call 1-800-854-6316.
It's the first anniversary of A Second Look at Life. Take Two with Jerry and Debbie continues on EWTN Radio.
Why did millions of people tune in each week to listen to Mother Angelica on her live television program? Because she had the answers. Whatever the question, problem, or heartbreaking sorrow, guided by the Holy Spirit and directed by the teachings of the Church, Mother Angelica had straightforward solutions to life's puzzling problems. Mother Angelica's Answers, Not Promises, a profoundly practical, humorous, and common sense collection, available now at EWTNRC.com.
Hi, this is Dan Burke from the National Catholic Register.
Hello, this is Bishop David O'Connell of the Diocese of Trenton.
Hi, this is Teresa Tomeo, host of Catholic Connection, and thanks for listening to the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.
We're so glad you joined us on our anniversary day here on Take Two. This is exciting. I've been waiting for. I just wanted to just go to sleep and make it happen so quickly, and it's here. It's really here. I feel like it's Christmas on June 15th.
I was going to say, yeah.
Jerry, can you go ahead and thank everybody around the Take Two that's made this possible? Can you thank everybody again? I just wanted to make sure we had everybody. When you had thanked everybody, I was quickly writing everybody's name down, wanted to make sure we didn't forget anybody, and I just thought it would be important for me to make note of it again. Can you go through the list of our, Rich?
Well, our
and
producer,
Jeff?
Rich Jesse, Matt Gabensky is the call screener. Michael McCall fills in on a variety of things. Jeff Burson handles the social media. Mike Peters, Tom Price, Lena Rodriguez is filled in as co-host along with Tom. I'm sure we're missing some people. There are lots of people involved at EWTN. But, yeah, Debbie, I know you and I are both very, very grateful for the support that we have gotten on the program.
Absolutely. You guys are just awesome. And oh my goodness, it's just amazing. I thought back when we were in the Holy Land, Jerry, and one of the times we couldn't broadcast live, Elena and Tom Price filled in. They did a fabulous job. It was so much fun listening to them, and it was just wonderful how we have that support. And if I've got it correct, is it Jack Williams is running YouTube today? Is that what I heard? So we have to thank Jack.
I didn't mention Jack too. I'm so sorry.
Jack Williams.
See,
thank you.
I told you I'm going to miss some people.
It's kind of like the Academy Awards, Jerry. I always get so nervous for the actors that go up on stage. I'm always thinking to themselves, are they going to thank their wife? Are they going to thank their kids? Oh, please don't miss out, because it's the same thing. So you just got to kind of throw out a disclaimer that says we thank everybody at EWTN, and especially Mother Angelica, who's really with us in prayer, and how beautiful it is that this show has just taken hold, and you guys have embraced it. You're calling in. You want to take part in this show today. We're talking about raising someone else's child. What does that mean for you? What experience have you had? And share with us the blessings about raising someone else's child. 1-800-585-9396.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful gift that you're giving to a child if you take one or more into your home. So let us know what that experience is like for you. Again, it's 800-585-9396. We're going to start with Kurt in beautiful Leavenworth, Washington, listening to Sacred Heart Radio, EWTN Radio. Hi, Kurt. Welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Hello.
Hi, Kurt. You're on the air. How are you?
Well, I'm. I've never done this before, so I'm a little intimidated, shall we say?
No need to be.
We're
So
friendly,
go right
Kurt.
ahead. What's your take on this?
Okay. Oh, what's my take? Well, now I just wanted to share my experience. 25 years ago, I married a widow with a 2-year-old son, and I think that the boy was really our matchmaker. I don't know that we would have gotten together without him. I was between jobs, and I had known this gal for 10 years. I had been a good friend of her first husband, of Eric's father, and so I basically stopped by to pay my respects. And this little boy runs up and says, "Will you read me this book?" And it was over a couple of months time I spent around them, and particularly with the little boy, with Eric, that kind of attracted Karen, and she decided that this was what she wanted for her child. And so, well, we've been 25 years together now, and he's 27 years old and doing well, and we have 2 other sons. And I guess my take and the kind of testimony that I give to friends is, I was pretty old. I was 38 when we married. Gosh, if you're beginning to wonder whether it's going to happen, look around for moms with kids and widows. They're a proven product. I convinced myself that this was okay because Karen had already demonstrated she could go till death do us part. It wasn't, that wasn't a question. The question was whether I could deliver. And I just made up my mind to do it.
So, Kurt, it sounds like from what I'm hearing about your story, first of all, do you feel more comfortable talking to us? Because we feel very comfortable talking to you.
Well, whether
Yes?
I'm comfortable or not really isn't an issue for me. I can still talk.
Okay, good. Well, we want it to be an enjoyable experience. But so over the course of the years, when I want to go back to when you said that the 2-year-old, when you first met your future wife, the 2-year-old actually was the matchmaker. It sounds like you
That's right.
were you really so the 2-year-old at the time, who's now a grown adult. Do you feel that was an imprint from God? Do you feel God was really had his hand in it? Yeah.
I do indeed. In fact, I rarely call Karen my wife. I call her my guardian angel.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, and see, these are the kind of experiences that we want people to share, because we hear so many times of things that happen that don't work out in a harmonious way. But then we hear stories of yours that you have such a great appreciation and gratitude for your family life. I think that's really wonderful, and we need to hear more of that, so that it inspires us to really value family. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with it. I mean, I share my story pretty much any chance I get.
Well, and it's a beautiful story, Kurt, and it shows. Excuse me. It's almost a love like, I think of Saint Joseph. In fact, as you're talking, I'm thinking he obviously raised someone else's child. It was Mary's child, but of course, Mary conceived, of course, by the Holy Spirit. But I don't know if you can share a little bit about just taking the child into your heart and into your life. There's this, of course, the intellectual knowledge that it's not actually, and you said you had other sons as well, thanks be to God. But with regard to Eric, what that's like to just say, I know this is someone else's child, but I'm gonna call him my own, and I'm not gonna think about him as someone else's child. I'm gonna think about him as my own child, and that was certainly what you did, Kurt. And so, can you share a little bit about that experience?
Well, yeah. When we were first getting started, one thing I mentioned that I'd known Karen and her first husband Jeff for a decade before he died, and so I guess I kind of felt like this was a way of honoring Jeff to raise his child.
Mm-hmm.
It was a privilege for me.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and I also think of the biblical story, Kurt, of the where the seven brothers all marry the woman.
Oh, right,
they all die, and I'm thinking exactly. You said you did this as a way to honor Kurt. You had no obligation to do it, but there was that connection you had with Jeff. I believe you said his name was. Sorry.
Yes.
And so, it's just beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. And what's Eric doing now, Kurt? What's he doing?
He's working at a resort complex, managing all their restaurants and bars.
Wow! So he's turned out very successful. Very successful. Thanks.
That's a great industry. I was in the hotel restaurant industry for many years. And you meet a lot of great people, and it's a wonderful way to work and to also socialize. It's great. It's really beautiful. Well, God bless you, Kurt. Thank you so much for calling in and sharing your story. Your story is special, and by you imparting that to the rest of us, we can all learn. So thank you so very much on our anniversary day. You did it, Kurt. How awesome is that?
Thanks, Kurt.
Glad you liked it.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. This is the kind of uplifting story that we hope to hear because, again, we always say, you, the listeners, you drive this program. Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, 1-800-585-9396. Are you raising someone else's child? It could be similar to Kurt. You've married someone who had children already. Adoption, foster care. It could be a grandchild that you have taken responsibility for in a very noble way. 1-800-585-9396. We're going to go to Ridgemont, Texas. Blanca, listening to EWTN Radio on Guadalupe Radio. Hi, Blanca. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good. So what's your story you want to share with us?
Yes, I love your show, guys. Thank you for all you do.
Oh, bless you.
The story we have is that my husband and I married and realized we both come from large families. And after a few months, we realized we couldn't get pregnant. So, long story short, we adopted 2 children. And through some acquaintances at church, we learned about the Russian program. And we tried locally, and for 6 months, the birth mothers kept the babies. And truly, my heart was breaking. It was tough to start to get ready to receive a baby, and then the birth mother would change her mind. So that was tough. So then this Russian program came along, and I thought, what a great thing to adopt orphans. That sounds awesome, So that's what we did. So we adopted 2 children, and now our son was 3 years old. Our daughter was 8 months old. Now our son is 17 years old, and our daughter is 14 years old. That's our story.
Oh, my goodness. That is a beautiful story, Blanca. We're going to get ready to go to a break, but I want to ask you just a bunch of questions, especially about it being an international adoption program. But so what does it feel like, real quickly, to have teenagers in the house?
Oh, dear Lord, I tell you, I'm in Mom 01. I'm like, I don't know anything. I'm an amateur once again. I had them when they were little, and now it's like I have no idea what I'm doing in a way.
Well, here's the good news. You're not alone, and this too will pass. They will grow into adulthood, and you'll look back and hopefully laugh about all of the episodes that happen with teenagers. It's kind of interesting.
Parenting is one of the things you learn as you do it, right?
Yes, that's right. That's right. There's no manual.
100% true. Yes.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, Blanca, this is a great story. How much time do we have before the break? This is the one break we can't move. Do we have
about
a
minute and a half. Yeah,
okay, well, I just wanted to ask you, Blanca, because sometimes we've heard that in international adoptions, there's a lot of things that can can go awry, and things happened and it doesn't work out the way it had intended. It sounds like in your situation, it all worked out really beautifully. Is there anything you can impart to us about if anybody is going to embark on an international adoption?
Well, I agree with you. Definitely, we were young, we were excited, so our hearts were ready to receive a child. And that brought, you would say, like a honeymoon period. Then we adopted them, and it was tough to, it was tough because I used to be so independent, and now I had 2 children under my care, and my husband worked full time. So that was tough. That was an awakening period. And then our marriage, and our son has functional autism, Asperger's, and our daughter has social anxiety. Our marriage has been through a lot, ups and downs. And I can only say that I think I had matured in ways, my faith has grown, and I have matured in ways that without these children, I wouldn't be the person I am now. So God had a plan. But it's been a tough journey of love, fear, and growth.
Well, Blanca, it sounds like you and your husband are great parents. Thank you for sharing that on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. On our anniversary program, we're going to ask all of our listeners to keep you and your family in prayer. God bless you.
EWTN is now on Twitter. Get short, timely messages from EWTN on your computer or cell phone. It's easy to stay up to date on a wide variety of topics. Pro-life news, Vatican announcements, catechesis, apologetics, the latest EWTN programming, and more. You can link to EWTN on Twitter from our homepage or go to twitter.com/EWTN. At work, at home, at school, and on the road. Stay connected to your world with EWTN's Twitter page.
I'm Raymond Arroyo with Mother Angelica, A Remarkable Life. In the early 50s, this monastery behind me, Sancta Clara in Canton, Ohio, would host something called interracial days. These were Sundays set aside for black and white Catholics to celebrate Mass and pray together. It was considered progressive at the time. To a nun inside these walls, Sister Angelica, this would profoundly shape her future life. It sensitized her to the racial tensions erupting all over the country and would be partly responsible for her later founding of a monastery in Birmingham, Alabama. Stay with EWTN as we celebrate the life of Mother Mary Angelica.
Divine Intimacy Radio.
What we're going to be doing in the coming weeks, in the coming months, I'm very excited to begin studying the writings of Teresa of Avila. We're going to be going through a book called 30 Days with Teresa of Avila. This isn't a book study show, so we're not going to be reading the text necessarily, and line by line going through that. That'd be a little strange for radio. But what we will be doing is reflecting on the wisdom from her letters.
Divine Intimacy Radio, Sunday, 6:30 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 11 p.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio.
It's the first of many. Happy anniversary, Take Two, with Jerry and Debbie.
Yes, I just love that round of applause. It sounds so official. It's fun. Today is Take Two's anniversary, your anniversary. Happy anniversary. This is an exciting time here on Take Two. But we're revisiting one of the most popular shows that we did this previous year, and it's about raising someone else's child. So if you've adopted, you have a foster child, if you're raising a grandchild, if somebody has placed a child in your life and you are being a guardian to that child, we want to hear from you. 1-800-585-9396. We're going to move right along to Cindy, who's waiting so patiently in Columbus, Georgia, listening to EWTN Radio on the EWTN app. Hi, Cindy.
Hello. How are you, Jerry and Debbie?
Very better
Cindy.
now that you called, Cindy.
Thank you. Well, I was calling today because I wanted to share my story in regards to my St. Joseph. I have a St. Joseph. My husband and I have been married for 24 years, and we have raised 3 sets of children. And we are, well, this is our last set. I'm currently raising my granddaughters. We adopted 3 of his sister's children because she was unable to take care of them, and ultimately she died. So we were able to take those 3 and raise them. And I have several grandchildren from those children, and then I have 2 biological children that my Joseph helped me raise. And so I feel very, very blessed, and the struggles have been long. The 24 years that we've been married, we've actually raised our marriage has been encompassed in raising children. Wrestling matches and struggles, and we have social anxiety disorders with our current children, and abusive relationships that they had come from. So, and the struggle is hard. But I wanted to say, without my Joseph, I don't know where we would be, and you could not tell him that none of them don't belong to him. He treats them just as if they were his own. So it's been very beautiful.
Yeah, Cindy, as you're talking, I'm not a parent. Debbie has raised 2 sons, and I'm just, I'm hearing just a heart of amazing love, and yet you alluded to the fact that there are challenges. This is not easy, and like you said, it can be kind of a roll of the dice when you're adopting or taking a child into your life that's been through hurts and pains and wounds, and all the love in the world can make that a lot better, but there still remain residual challenges. And for you to rise to those challenges, I think, is what is really important here. That's what I'm hearing. And Debbie, I want to know your insights on this. But it's almost, I'm hearing heroic love here.
Yeah,
and this
exactly.
This is just, I'm inspired. I'm very inspired.
Well, you're committed to your family, Cindy. It's obvious. It's very obvious. But I want to just rewind a little bit. When you first had said all the things we've been through, and you said the wrestling matches, I started to chuckle because I was thinking about you probably with such a large family, you were taking to all these sporting events and all these things, and then I realized what you were talking about, of all the difficulties that were happening with their personalities and what they are dealing with. And so, but I've also want to add too, not only are you, am I safe to say that not only are you having to work with all of what encompasses their lives and their personalities and work with them, but you also are trying to maintain what we call that typical family life of errands and activities and events and this and that and all the things that you feel that we should do as parents. So you're really on a very fast pace, in a sense, or I should say a constant pace.
Absolutely. I'm a grandma 101.
Yeah.
It's because times changes, and when times change, we went from wrestling matches now to homeschool. So sacrifices are very extent. My husband no longer is employed. He actually stays home now and homeschools our grandchildren because of their orders, because of their anxieties and things that they've suffered through. So, and has been acclimating them back into society where they're able to compete. This has been actually our biggest challenge. But in general, my husband is the hero because I am a little less patient. So he's actually taught me to be more patient because I raised my granddaughters. I raised my sons, which was boys. So, we have these challenges where you've got experience in raising boys, so now you treat the girls like boys, and they're a little bit more sensitive and things of that. These are struggles, and they all have their own personalities. And it's been, now you're in the secular world, you're in a cell phone and tablets, and like I said, I'm Grandma 101. I don't know nothing.
Well, you're learning a lot, Cindy, and the thing is, God is in the midst of all of that, and we all bring whatever we have to the table. I'm thinking of the feeding Jesus, multiplying the loaves and fishes, and he said to his apostles, his disciples, let's feed this great multitude. What did they say to him? They said, "Well, Lord, all we have." They didn't say, "Well, we've got 5 loaves and 2 fish, and Lord, we know you can multiply this, so we're in good shape." They went to him and said, "Lord, all we have." And Jesus, all he wants is all that we have, and then he can provide with the Holy Spirit in so many ways that we can't. So you're proof of that, Cindy.
Yes. And Cindy, I don't know if you mentioned your husband's first name. We would love to say a prayer of thanks and to ask God to continue to shower him along with you with strength and with that beautiful love that's in your family.
I would love that. He went to Cursillo. He got off his Cursillo. He's been on fire ever since. And he just did his testimony this past Sunday, and it was absolutely fabulous. We lost a grandchild at one time, and it really tore him up. And he used her as a part of his story for his journey. So, yes, I would love that. His name is Sam.
Sam. Oh, beautiful. Well, you guys complement each other perfectly, and that's what you're exactly the example we need to put forth of what a Catholic Christian family means. And just the way we're complimenting you, Cindy, on your heroic love, you're complimenting your husband, saying, no, he's the real hero. That beautiful synergy is passing on to your children and grandchildren. Way to go, Cindy. We're gonna definitely pray that you are continued with blessings in your family, with the endurance to run the race that we're all on, this race called life. And it sounds like you guys have a real deep foundation, Cindy. You've inspired us today. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Cindy, for calling. And that reminds me, Debbie, when we ask for names to people to pray for all the time, want to let our listeners know that Debbie and I have a brand new website, and it includes a prayer wall. And so if you go to take2show.com, you will find a link to our website right there on the show's website. So please log on to take2show.com, and right underneath today's show description, are you raising someone else's child? Just click on the link there, and that'll take you right to our website. You can post on the prayer wall, and you can comment on other people's prayer intentions. And we're also offering, Debbie and I, from our Holy Land pilgrimage, those rosaries. They're absolutely beautiful. They have been taken to sites including the Church of the Nativity that marks the spot where Jesus was born, and the Church of the Resurrection where his tomb is. You can get so many people have asked us, hey, can we get those Holy Land rosaries? Well, we did an inventory, and we've got a small supply left. So if you want to be blessed abundantly with really a once-in-a-lifetime chance, we have those rosaries available on our website as well. So just click through at take2show.com, and we would love to hear from you. All right, Stan is in Albany, New York, listening to EWTN Radio on the Station of the Cross. Hello, Stan. Welcome to the program today. Nice to hear from you.
Hi, Jerry, Debbie. Great show. And there are no coincidences. As I turned the show on today and you were talking about adoption, I just want to share that 5 years ago, my lovely warrior princess and saint of a wife and I decided to adopt a little girl through foster care. And I'm happy to say that our daughter is 5 years old. She's full of energy, she's full of challenges, and she is the perfect round out of our family of 3 boys and her. The boys are all older than her. And I just want to tell your listeners and everybody out there that, yes, there are challenges, but our good Lord told us to put out into deep water. And I'm very grateful today for all the blessings that he has shown our family. And I can't even talk about it without crying my eyes out, but it's the truth. God is good. He's there with us, and our Blessed Mother protects us. So please, all you people that are considering adoption or foster care, take the classes, pray, and let it happen.
Stan, is it safe to say that 5-year-old little girl has stolen your heart?
Yeah. And I think I tell her on a daily basis that she's not allowed to have a car when she's 16, because I just want to be in practice for that.
Well, the other thing I just want to say too, may I just say this real quickly? I loved how you titled your wife "Warrior Princess and Saint of a Wife." Could you make sure you tell all the husbands out there in the whole world that's a wonderful title to give to your wife? She's very blessed.
She has earned it. You know, I ask for a lot of help, and I would just ask your listeners to please pray for us. Because I certainly have not earned the title saint and doubt that I will today. But I have to reiterate, we did this out of our faith. You know, we did foster care as a way to put our faith into action. And we followed examples of others that we know that have gone the foster care route. And just please, if a couple out there is willing to do foster care, even if it was for one child for one weekend, that's an incredible help and an incredible blessing. They've done more for us than we could ever possibly do for them, and thanks be to God for that.
Yeah, and Stan, I think you've answered. I was going to ask a follow-up that I think you've answered, and a lot of people will do this because they're not able to conceive or out of necessity or something. You had the 3 boys, you said already, and you didn't have to do this, or you didn't. It wasn't maybe similar circumstances to others who adopt, and you said God put it on your hearts to put out into the deep, and you took that leap of faith, and who knows what God has planned for this beautiful daughter of yours and your sons too, God willing. But you sound like great parents, and I'm sure your wife probably feels the same way about you as you described her, Stan. So really appreciate you joining us today.
God bless you both. It's a great program, and continue to please pray for us as we will for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Stan.
We count on it. We count on it. Please believe it. All right. God bless, Stan.
Take care.
Bye, Stan. Thanks so much. Okay, we're going to move. That's a wonderful call. Stan's awesome. What a great call that was. Great contribution to today's show. We're going to move right along to Tim, listening to EWTN Radio in Northern Illinois. Hi, Tim. Welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Hello, Jerry and Debbie. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I don't have a question. I'm kind of running in between work projects here, but my wife and I, 25 years ago or so, adopted a young lady. Somebody actually gave us a baby. It doesn't happen that way, but she was an absolutely beautiful, blonde hair, blue-eyed young lady, and we named her Maria because we believe this was done through the intercession of our Blessed Mother. 3 years after that, we started fostering kids with special needs, mostly drug and alcohol exposure. And to make a much longer story short, we now have 10 children, and we just took in 2 more.
Oh, wow.
So our youngest would be 6 months old. The oldest would be Maria, 25, who's getting married in a couple of months. And, reiterating what other callers said, if you want to do this, pray about it. If you don't, there are people out there who need support. Along the way, many, many, many people supported us with assistance, family and friends. And so if you are not called to do this, go find someone who is and say, hey, can I give you a night out? Can I help you out around your house?
Wow, Tim, first of all, congratulations and thank you. Thank you for being, you and your wife, so open to this, and you have changed. It sounds like, I was doing the math, it sounds like 12. You've made a difference in 12 lives, but I was going to say congratulations on your oldest about to be married. Is that a son or a daughter?
Maria.
That's my daughter. That's my daughter Maria, named
okay.
after the Blessed Mother. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I missed that. But.
Jerry, you do realize this is what I was going to say is Tim's about to walk his first daughter down the aisle. Tim, that's going to be a very emotional day. You do realize that?
Yeah, no question.
Yeah, Well,
you'll have to send us a picture after your daughter gets married. We would love to celebrate that with you.
I will do that. I'll send a group shot. It'll be a wide-angle lens, but I'll send a group shot.
Well, Tim, and real quick, the age range, you said 25 down to 6 months. Describe just real quickly how the kids have hopefully bonded and really come to love and support one another, even though they may come from different families or regions or circumstances.
Yeah, all of our kids, we're a multiracial family. More than half of our kids, I have to count, I think actually half are African American and multicultural. Everybody came from a different set of parents. Many were born drug and alcohol exposed, perhaps half or so. I had one son born with a 0.32 blood alcohol level plus cocaine addiction. So everybody grew up coming from backgrounds which were less than optimal. Many of our children were infants, but I'd say half were infants when we fostered and or adopted them. And we get along like a family. We fight like a family. We love like a family. The siblings, they fight with each other just like I did with my brothers. But it's a very, very, very close-knit family. We're all looking forward to the wedding or to family events. And those children within our family who are born with the greatest challenges are doing really well. My son, born with a 0.32 blood alcohol level, is on a track and field scholarship in the second year of college right now. And, life's a little harder for most of my kids, but God is good, and the Blessed Mother continues to intervene for us, I'm sure, and take care of us.
What I think is so beautiful. It does. What I think is so beautiful about your story, Tim, is that these children being born, like you said, they've been born with the challenges that they inherited. They were just part, there was no choice of their own. With having that loving foundation of the family that you have provided with you and your wife, that is what has, I believe, has allowed them to be nurtured and be loved and feel safe and be able to overcome some of those challenges in just the respect that they have that security. They have that safety net of the family. And so I say to you and your wife, you guys are heroes for doing that, because so many kids do feel that shaky ground. They don't know what's going to happen to them next. And it sounds like in your family, it's a super loving, stable environment. And that's what we can only wish for all our children. So thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
All right, Tim. Great to hear from you, and let's keep all families in our prayers who are doing great acts of love like this. Mm-hmm. I want to say real quick, Debbie, a hello to Sharon in Cleveland. Hi, Sharon, if you're listening on The Rock, AM 1220. Sharon said, I can't call because I'm at work, but she says, I want you to know that my husband and I have raised our oldest granddaughter, and it has been such a blessing in our lives. With all the doubts and fears she may have, she has told me I am her bestest friend, and she is truly the star of my life right now. At 20, she is a straight-A college student and moving on to a beautiful and productive life. And so Sharon says, my current ministry is to meet with others who are doing the same thing to help and support them. God bless them all. Sharon, thanks for sharing that at take2@EWTN.com.
Beautiful. These are beautiful stories. And we're going to move right along to Anita, listening to EWTN Radio in Maine on the Station of the Cross. Hi, Anita. Welcome to Take Two.
Hi.
Hi.
What's your take
on this?
I'm doing well. I have a sore throat, but yeah, I just wanted to say that we have a 2.5-year-old living in our house. He is our grandson. Last October, we found out that my husband had prostate cancer, and my daughter was living in Virginia, and she lost her job. She lost her apartment. Well, she lose her apartment. They gave it away to someone else at the last minute. So she didn't have a place to go. And she kind of said, Mom, I think God's telling me that Papa needs his grandson. And so he has gone through 9 weeks every day for radiation treatments. And I think that Gabriel, his little guardian angel, has brought him through it. And every day when we went to the cancer care center, we had to take my grandson with us. And he would welcome all the patients in, stand at the door, and said, come in. And he had a sense of knowing those that were about ready to give up. and he would go over and sit in their lap and make him smile, and then he would get down and go visit somebody else, and it was really amazing just to watch him. That I was nervous about taking him there every day, but he just put it right in, and if he didn't come one day, they were all asking what happened to Gabriel. Where's Gabriel? So I think that the dear Lord had although we're not raising him, we are very close to help out my daughter, and we see him every day. And I think he's really been a big blessing and a big change in my husband's attitude, plus all the other cancer care patients that were going there. And I just wanted to share that. I think it's beautiful. His name is beautiful, Gabriel, little angel. It's typical gets into trouble, but basically he just has a beautiful attitude, smile, and just walk up and says hi to everybody.
Well, Anita, I was going to say that with the name Gabriel. That was very interesting, that's your grandson's name. One thing that you brought out that I think is so important, and see how this show takes on a whole different shape when we revisit it again, and you did it so beautifully with your take on this, Anita, and your experience. So many times we talk about what we can give to the children, and what we tend to sometimes forget is what the children give to us. See, now I'm going to get teary-eyed because your grandson Gabriel gave hope to those other patients struggling with a cancer diagnosis. Your grandson Gabriel gave life and love and beauty and peace and joy to your husband, his grandfather. I mean, while he was going through his own struggle. I mean, this is what's beautiful about children. And Jerry, I know you were going to comment about what the name Gabriel means.
Well, it means God is my strength. Yeah, and I think it's just a beautiful name for this boy to have. And Anita, you have really blessed me and Debbie and our listeners today, calling in and sharing about that. Any other comments you wanted to add?
Oh, I just wanted to tell the story. This one gentleman, he and his wife come in every day, and this one gentleman wasn't looking too well, and I kind of said, "How are you doing?" And he says, "Oh, all right." And he went in for his treatment, and his wife was in tears saying, I had to force him to come. He didn't want to come. He's given up. So the next day when he showed up, my grandson, just took to him like anything. And the next, after that treatment, the next day we saw them again, and his wife just says his whole attitude has just changed. He needed that little kid to come sit on his lap and give him a hug and talk with him for a little while, and I thought it was just beautiful.
That is beautiful. Thank you, Anita. Thank you for straining your voice just a little more and sharing this. We needed to hear. We're going to pray that your sore throat is fully healed, Anita. Up your vitamin C a little. Don't forget.
Thank you. God bless.
God bless, Anita. Renee, listening to EWTN Radio on the Lamb in South Dakota. Renee, we don't have a lot of time, but we wanted to get your thoughts on this. So thank you so much for calling Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. We got about a minute, Renee, so if you can be brief, we want to hear what you have to share. Go ahead. Do we have Renee? There we go,
Yeah.
Renee. Now she's with us. Hi, Renee. Sorry about that.
Hi there.
Hi.
I have just a really quick message. 24 years ago, we adopted a little baby. His mother was from South Dakota, and she gave him up to us. She was 18 years old, and she had no way to raise him. And we took him into our home, and I just want to thank her, and I want all the women out there that are thinking about abortion or some type of thing like that. I want them to stop and think, because his mother gave me so much joy to my life. He has been super great. I wouldn't trade him for anything. We've had our trials and tribulations, of course, because there's different DNA. But you know what? I love him dearly, and I just want to thank her so much for giving him life and giving him to me, because he has been a true blessing to my life.
Well, Renee, that's an aspect of this that we didn't talk much about on the program today. It's sort of implied, but it doesn't get enough attention. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for adopting that beautiful child who's now an adult, it sounds like. Debbie, another success story. Thanks be to God.
This was a beautiful show. Thank you, everyone that has contributed. This was a great way to continue Anniversary Week. Tomorrow we're going to be actually celebrating the anniversary, so be with us tomorrow. And until then, have a beautiful and blessed day. We'll see you soon.